Ugh. Oh, yard work can be perilous. Hi, I'm Jason Pierce, and I'm a personal trainer, and this week I want to talk about the perils of yard work. Spring is here. I know that we've had some warm weather here in North Carolina recently, and that usually means people take advantage, go outside, and start prepping their yards for gardening or mowing the lawn or just getting ready for projects that they're going to do or starting projects. And especially the first really nice weekend, people tend to get out there and just go hard and not realize what they're doing. And what ends up happening is a lot of people end up injured from doing yard work. These injuries tend to affect young people less than older people because young people's bodies are just more adaptable. As we get older, two things happen. One, we've got the time to do yard work, and we want to do yard work. And two, our bodies are not going to respond well to doing yard work. So we really need to prep ourselves for it. You wouldn't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to run a marathon and run a marathon. That would be crazy. You would really get hurt. This is pretty much what people are doing when they go out and do yard work all day for the first time in months. You're doing something your body is not ready for, and you're doing it to an extreme. You can't run a marathon with no training. You can't go out in the yard and do yard work for 8 hours with no training. As we get older, it's harder to just jump into something without some kind of preparation. And it's really hard to prep for yard work. The movements are completely different than almost anything else we do. I mean, think about it. If you're weeding, for example, you're crouched down, you're moving your arms and back in a way that you haven't done in months probably. Just that simple movement can throw out your back, hurt your shoulder. Different joints can be affected by this. If you're trying to plant something and you want to dig a hole, shoveling is something that we don't do very often, and you can really jar something in your back or your shoulders doing it. Picking up sticks or just bending up and down, I mean, that's a bunch of squats, and you're generally doing it not just in a straight line, but bending down with one arm and picking something up, which is putting a weird twist on your back. Again, what usually happens is that first nice day, we get out there and we pick up every stick we see, or we plant every plant we want to plant, or we're in there weeding for hours. And then the next day, pain everywhere. My wife, who runs Brit PT, a physio clinic here in town, sees an uptick in patients in the spring because of this. And a lot of times people don't even realize that the yard work is what did it. A couple years ago, I was in really good shape, and I went over to my parents and helped them repair their deck. And I held a hammer in my hand and I hammered for, I don't know, not terribly long, but I ended up getting tennis elbow from that just because it was something I hadn't done in a while. And the hammer's not very heavy, so I think I just held it while I wasn't using it, and it just that little bit of extra weight and the unusual way I had to move it just stressed out my elbow joint. So it doesn't take much. What we don't want to happen is go out there that first day, make some great progress, but then not be able to do yard work again for weeks because you hurt yourself. It's tricky because what specifically are you going to train to do yard work? Well, anything that mimics the movements that you're about to do with some resistance will prepare you for it. Yoga in general is going to be really good for this because there's a lot of twisting and holding poses and going up and down that mimic some of these unusual movements. Not exactly the same because you probably aren't holding weight in yoga, but it's doing at least the prep work for it. And I think if you do yoga, you're going to probably survive yard work more than people that don't. But any sort of working out will help. If you can, start working out in the winter so that your body's ready for the spring. And the other thing is, take your time, maybe set a timer for half an hour. Do something for half an hour, let your timer go off, and then stop. Assess your body. How do you feel? Where do you feel it? Change up what you're doing. So don't just weed. Maybe weed for half an hour and then move sticks for half an hour. Go slowly and don't feel like you have to do it all in one day. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to take time doing this. I know I've got a pile of mulch I have to move, and I'm just going to do it gradually. I'm going to do some today, I'll do some next weekend, I'll do some maybe during the week, but I'm not going to move it all at once as much as I want to. I know that would not be a good thing for me to do right now, especially with my hamstring. Take breaks, assess how you feel, Switch what you're doing so that you're not just hitting that one body part over and over again. Take it slow, do what you can, work within yourselves, pay attention to what your body is telling you. Is there something that I've missed? Is there yard work that maybe you've done that you've hurt yourself in a funny way or an interesting way? Share it in the comments. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and as usual, stay healthy.